Welcome to your Principles of Finance class. My name is Mr. Benjamin. I'll be your instructor. Putting together this little presentation and video to help you get oriented to the class so we can kind of hit the ground running because we're going to need to be able to do that. So the objectives from this presentation is learn about how this class works, become familiar with our class shell or our class website in D2L, which is the learning management software for Oakton. If you've taken Oakton classes before, you're familiar with it. If you haven't, it's not too hard to get the hang of it. You want to understand how Connect works. Connect is our link to our website with our publisher, McGraw-Hill, and what we find in Connect is our textbook and some of the assignments that we're going to do. So we need to understand how to get to that. We're going to talk about our schedule. That's our little Bible for the class. It'll help us stay on course and make sure we get through it all. And I want you to start thinking about ways to commit to managing to it because you really, it's something you're going to have to really adhere to. It's very easy to fall behind and create a lot of problems for yourself. And this week, you're going to have some of the easiest points you'll have in the entire class available to you. So pay attention. I'm going to give a real brief background of me, just so you know. I've been in business for over 40 years, selling stuff, all kinds of different things in all kinds of different industries, and I work for massive multinational corporations as well as owning my own businesses. Currently, I own my own consulting business as well. I finance several startups through all the way from startup to growth stages. That's one of the more tricky things to do in finance. I've launched new businesses, products, and markets, not just for myself, but for other companies. And so this business development, that's really what the summary of that is, really requires you to leverage your finance acumen. So the one textbook I've kept from my undergraduate and graduate education was my beginning finance text, believe it or not. I've actually referenced it many times. I got my MBA from Kellogg. If you don't know what that is, it's part of Northwestern University's Graduate School of Management. I went part-time at night, and I was working really full-time, meaning I was traveling and working long hours. So it was a pretty rough 3 years, I'm going to say. It was well worth it, but I'm not sure I recommend it to people to do that. So I know how to make businesses profitable, start new businesses, and make old businesses grow like new businesses. That little thing I just gave you there, that's my elevator speech. So if I was talking to somebody at a professional conference and they said, well, so what do you do? I make businesses profitable, I start new businesses, and I know how to make old businesses grow like new businesses, is about what I would summarize it to say. That's a really important element of networking. It's not part of finance for me to talk about that, but it is my responsibility, I think, to tell you how important networking is. 84%, last time I looked, of managerial jobs are filled through networking, not online job boards or anything like that, through networking. So it's who you know helps you get hired. And a good way to start doing that is join LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a good starting point for you to do professional networking. It doesn't cost anything. You can pay for it, but don't. There's no reason to. So sign up for LinkedIn. Do it today. It's a really, really important tool to have. Okay, the class is conducted in what we call D2L. And in D2L, we will communicate. We're going to use D2L email to communicate with each other. And I have lots of posts and announcements that come up during the week, during the course of the course. And so pay real close attention to that. We'll find our course content in there. We'll take our tests in there. And our group, we're going to work on a group assignment towards the end of class that will be done through D2L as well. Don't worry about the group assignment. It's not a huge thing, but it's a good activity. If you're not familiar with it, there are lots of resources. Just take note of this website, or you can find all kinds of resources on Oakton's website as well. Okay, so D2L is interchangeable with Brightspace, is the name of another name for the software. And there's an app available for Brightspace that will you can do many of the functions in D2L on your phone. And so it's in Google Play. You can get it for Android, and you can also get it for your Mac OS or your Apple OS for your phone. So either way, it's usable. It's real good for keeping up with communications and things like that. Okay, And one thing I'm going to ask you to do is fill out a D2L profile, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But I want you to put a picture in there. I want you to say something unique about you that the people will remember. You know, that's the whole point of this, because this is the start of your networking. Your start of your professional network are your classmates. Trust me, it's worth starting to build that up. So you're going to go ahead and fill out your D2L profile. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go to D2L. So you can see what it looks like. And bear with me one second. I'm going to go to the student view. I'm going to go to our homepage. Now you get at this through my courses in My Oakton. So look for that little tab there, and you'll see it from there. Okay, so here's our homepage. What you see in the homepage is um, this first thing you'll notice is there's this little envelope here. That's where you have a notification that you have email, and that so definitely take a look at that. And then we have several tabs that go across the top. There's one called content, one called discussions, one called assignments, quizzes and exams, and you can look at your grades through here as well. So the announcements that I put out there are going to be under this in this section of the home page. And then there's a calendar, although don't rely on this calendar for all your due dates. Rely on the course schedule that we'll look over that copy of that before we're done. And this is also where you get to connect. Okay, so what I want to show you is in Connect. If I click on that, the first time you click on it, you're going to have to log into a McGraw-Hill account. If you don't have one, you'll have to create credentials for it. It's not a big deal. It's kind of drill you've gone through many times, so it's not a big deal to do it, but go ahead and get that done. You've paid for it. Don't pay for anything else. You've paid for it. The access to the class is all available to you through that. You've already paid for it in your fees. Okay. So when you go there, it's going to look a little bit like this, and you're going to see all the different assignments we have coming up. We have assignments per chapter. And we'll talk about that as we get into it. So you'll see what those things are, and this is where you get access to your textbook right here with the Foundations of Financial Management, and it's a good interactive textbook. I think you'll find it very helpful. Okay, so that's Connect. Now, going back to our presentation, we talked about these things. Okay, so the course syllabus is listed under D2L under content. I'm not going to go through all the details of the syllabus. I do expect you to read through it and become very familiar with it. So I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next thing, which is our course schedule, and that we will take a look at. Again, listed under that first page. So when I look at this, you'll see that the way our course is broken out, it's sort of a weekly cadence. So we're going to do like the same types of things one week and do the same type of things the next week, and just continuing through the course. So you'll see in this course schedule, this is our guideline. This is for everything. So refer to this, download it, make it part of what you do, include it into your own schedule. Do whatever you need to do, but make sure you have a copy of this readily available to you so that you can keep up to date with what's going on. The headings of it basically are what's going on in the course of a week. We're going to talk about the course, what's going on, what we're covering in that particular week. Usually it's chapters in the textbook, and key dates are assignments that might be coming up. You also see where your those homework assignments that are in part of Connect, when they're due, and when our online tests actually are. Okay, so let's talk about online tests really quickly. The first online test you can do is more or less a syllabus test, but it's designed so that you can make sure that you can take future tests. The whole point of doing the online test, which is worth 4 points, by the way, it's a nice little easy number of points to get. The reason why I set that up is so you can sign up for our online proctoring service called HonorLock. There's a guide to it in underneath content. And so look that over and make sure that you can get signed up for it. When you sign up, it's going to ask you to do a couple things. One of them is to install a token or just a little piece of software onto your web browser, which should be Chrome. I don't care if you have an Apple or PC or what. Make sure it's Chrome. And that way the extension that you put in will allow you to take tests going forward. There's a charge for it. $18 pays for the term. So make sure I think it's $18. So make sure you do that. You'll need a credit card the first time you take this test here. And then you're set basically to take uh, all the rest of the tests in the class, and we'll use HonorLock. We'll talk about that more when we talk about taking tests in another video. Okay, so you can see what the cadence of this is and all the different things that you're going to do. And we have a group project, which we'll cover in detail as we get closer to it, but it's working with your peers to for a particular project. And again, I'll cover that another time. And then I want to go down here because I think the thing that we're really interested out of the syllabus and all the rest is how the grades work. So it's excuse me, a 100-point grading system. And so you can look at the number of points you have and get a really good estimate as to where you're heading from a grade standpoint. The grade breakdowns go like this. There are 15 assignments corresponding with the different chapters of the book. They're worth 4 points each. If you add them up, that's 60% of your grade, or 60 points. The second test is worth 10 points. The third test is worth 15. The group project that we just talked about, or the Enron case, is worth 10. This very first test you're going to do this week is worth 4, and then you're going to want to watch our Connect orientation videos just to become very familiar with how to use Connect. Those are all listed in Connect under assignments. They're also listed in D2L. And sum total, that's 100 points. Now, if you noticed, there is a fourth test, which is at the end of class. Now, the fourth test is there for you to take if you don't like how you did on some of the things before that. So it's kind of a make good, it's a way for you to bolster up your grade if you're not happy with where you're at. So I leave that option at the end of the class. If you're happy with your grade, you don't have to take it. Your grade will stand. If you are not happy with your grade, I would suggest that you zero in on taking that. It's a good way for you to kind of recover the points you need to get a good grade in the class. Okay, so that's the course schedule. We just talked about grading, so I'll skip over that. Let's talk really quickly about how to succeed in this class. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it moves fast. It covers a lot of ground. It's very detailed stuff. It's foundational. So what you learn in the beginning parts of class, you'll be using as you go along towards the later parts of class. So get on the schedule and stay on it. It's really, really important to do that. Complete all your assignments on time. I don't have very much flexibility for late assignments because we're moving right on to the next thing right away. Okay. Keep up with your text reading and assignments, as we said. I suggest you look at your course schedule every Sunday, see what's coming up, or just even integrate it into your own existing schedule. It's not a bad idea, okay? And under any case, if you have any questions or anything like that, please let me know. I have virtual office hours. I have a virtual office, and it's called, it's under a video chat that's native into D2L called my Big Blue Button. I will make sure that I have regular hours there between 10 and 11 a.m. on Monday. But if you want to meet up with me or talk to me about anything, just send me an email in D2L and say, generally what you want to talk about, and then give me 3 times where you're available to do that. And I mean 3 separate times, not 3 all right together. And one of those 3 will more likely not work. You always have, and I will respond to you and let you know that we're ready to go. I will meet you in the virtual chat room then. Okay, so that's how we're going to handle office hours. All right. And I think we're getting close to the end of this. Okay, so how to succeed in this class. We already talked about this. All right, let me move on. And okay, so by Friday, read those course documents, the syllabus, the course outline, the schedule, how to do well in class. Read all those documents. I know if you've read them or not, it actually shows me that. Watch the Connect orientation videos we talked about. Log into Connect and read Chapter 1 and do the Chapter 1 assignment, okay? Take the test number 1. This allows you to sign up for HonorLock. You do that through D2L. And fill out your D2L profile. And then I want you to schedule a one-on-one meeting with me. Now, the way to do that is I've got a share drive, a Google Drive that has just a sign-up sheet in it. You go in there and you sign up for a time that works for you over the next 3 weeks. You'll see which ones are available. If somebody's already signed up for the time, please don't overwrite their name. I know if you did it or not, so don't do that. We should be ready to go. What are we going to do in that meeting? I think it's real important in an asynchronous online class where we don't actually meet, that we make a connection. I get to know more about you. You get to know more about me. You get to know more about the class. Any questions that you have, we can answer early on and get you set in the right direction. Okay, so that's your list of tasks. You do those things. There's 5 points in it for you. It's a pretty easy way to earn a